You're watching ABC4 News.
Welcome back. This December, as more people make travel plans to celebrate with family and friends, the American Red Cross is hoping that you will make some time to help others in need. So joining us today, we have Benjamin Donner with the American Red Cross. Benjamin, thank you so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
Tell us a little bit on how the supply is going right now for blood donations.
Yes, we are moving along. This time of year is always challenging in that our minds go to family and vacation and time off and all of that, and sometimes we forget those that might be stuck in the hospital or emergency surgeries, things like that. So extra focus right now in the blood world is super important.
And I know a lot of people might have some extra time off, whether that's winter break or they have another holiday vacation. Maybe this would be a good time for the whole family to get together and make a huge difference.
Absolutely. Somebody told me once, what more intimate way can we help another human being than donating blood, right? And especially this time of giving, it's an amazing opportunity as a family, as you said.
And we've been talking about why it's so important. Can you tell us a little bit more on why it's so important to do it around this time of year?
Yes, so we can't store blood for a long time, right? It's 42 days, that's the shelf life. So we need that to constantly happen, and when we start having more people potentially get sick or snow days where it's harder to travel, there are a lot of challenges to try to get there sometimes. So we need everybody's effort to be able to keep up and make sure that we have that supply on the shelf before an emergency happens.
Absolutely, and I know people have mentioned that before. It's so great when people come together during a natural disaster to help, but the time to help would have been a week before that. So,
yes.
I mean, it's preparing for the worst case scenario to make sure that people have it exactly when they need it.
Yes.
You were talking about the shelf life for blood. You said 45 days. What about for platelet donations?
Platelets, 5 days.
5 days, wow.
That's from the time that a donor gives it to the time that it gets to the patient. So think about everything that's involved in that. That's a constant. That's what our focus is on Christmas Day. Our team is actually going to be there Christmas Eve, Christmas the day after. So specifically on Christmas, that focus is platelets.
So you guys are collecting donations on Christmas.
We are at our blood center in Murray, and those wonderful staff of ours that are just, they know how important it is, and gosh, I say thanks to them as much as I do our wonderful donors.
I love that too, that you guys are doing it on a holiday, because I know a lot of times people want to volunteer at a soup kitchen or something along those lines, and it seems like there's a wait list at that point to help out, but this is something that it's really the more the merrier, and it can make such a huge difference. What does 1 pint of blood translate to as far as helping the community?
So a traditional unit of blood can save up to 3 lives. There are different components of that blood, and each one is used in its own way. And so when we think about, let's say 10 people came and donated in an hour, that's up to 30 people that could be affected, and their families on having them still. I mean, that number just grows.
And we were also talking about platelets. For people who aren't familiar with platelets, what does that do? How does that help people?
So that's what helps your blood clot. If there's an an injury or something like that, and if you don't have that ability to stop that bleeding, then obviously a lot more issues can arise. So those platelets are critical, but they don't last long on the shelf. We have to collect them, use them. It's an amazing work to make all of that happen in 5 days' time.
It's really life or death in those situations.
It is, yes.
Benjamin, I know we're running out of time. Where can people get more information before we go?
Perfect place, redcrossblood.org or our blood donor app. Those are the best to find an appointment available, schedule a time, and all the other info is there.
All right, wonderful, Benjamin Donner. Thank you so much for joining us.
Our pleasure. Thank you.